external providers. See, right now we are writing code for adding users, adding roles, tying up users with a given role, and then when the user logs in, we have written the code. Rather, framework has provided us with the source code also for verifying that the user is valid or invalid. Now, rather than doing all these things, we can use the external authentication providers. We have got ready-made authentication providers like Facebook, Google, Twitter. So many authentication providers are available which will help us to use their identity for logging into our application. This way, the user doesn't have to remember any username and password for our website. If he has got already one social media website username and password, he can use the same for logging into our website also. So I go back to my previous example here. If I now press Ctrl F5, you see when I click on login, use another service to login. Right now we do not have any registered external provider. So we have to register. Now how to register this? Now you have to follow a procedure for it. That means if you want to use Facebook, you have to go and configure Facebook for our authentication. Your Facebook account should be used for authentication. So this is the URL which has given us complete steps. So first go to Facebook developer page and then create an app. My net core demo and give some email, your ID. So these are all applications which I created earlier. There were so many actually, but this is the new one. Now what is that we want in this? We want actually a Facebook authentication. So we have to use this Facebook login. So here, go to products, and we are interested in Facebook login setup. How do you want to log in the user? Right now we want to log in through web. Choose that. Now we have to provide the site URL. Now you have to be careful. Don't provide site URL directly for our website. You have to go to settings. You have to actually keep this side by side. Remember, these pages change. Every time you come here, you will find this completely different. So go to settings. All this is fine. Here we have to give the URL of our website with the additional value sign in -Facebook. So what is the URL of our website? Take this and valid OAuth redirect URL / Facebook -sign in. Confirm it. Oh, sign in -Facebook. Basically, we are creating a Facebook app. That's it. I think we can save now. After these changes are saved, now we need the app ID and app secret. These two things are needed. Now these two I can get it from settings, basic. So here I have app ID, app secret. These two things I'll need. So what I'll do now is, in my config file of the application, or we can actually hard code also, we should use these two values. Now, where should we use that? This we have to add now in our configure. Go to the pipe, configure, and here, sorry, add is there, right? Add should go in this, and app ID, you can actually take it from the configuration. For demo purpose, I'm adding it directly here. Likewise, secret. Copy. So because of this app ID and app secret, now we have registered Facebook with our application. That's it, over now. Now just run, go back here, refresh the login page, and here we should find Facebook. Something similar you'll have to do for Google also. I'm already logged in. So it is asking continue as Sandeep. I say yes. You have successfully logged in with Facebook. Enter your email ID, register. Finish. I'm logged in now. That means I don't have to remember a separate username and password over here. Using Facebook identity, we have logged in. Followed, and extra details if you want, you can update over here. Same procedure you have to follow for, of course, one more thing. Here, when you are done testing with localhost, and if you are moving into production, right now it is working with localhost. But if you want to work with the real domain, then you have to change this to on. You must provide valid policy. Basically, you have to put some policies here. Privacy policy and terms and service policy you should give for your company. After you give these two URLs where privacy policy is mentioned and terms of service policy is mentioned, change this to on. And then only it will work for custom domain names instead of localhost. Right now, during development, it works only with localhost. Keep this in mind. So, same thing you'll have to do even for Google. Now, the UI of Google will be different. So, go through the steps in this particular URL. But there also you are going to get the same app ID, app secret. Google calls it as client ID and client secret. The names are different. So what they call depends. Like that, somewhere in the documentation only, you should find for Twitter. This is Facebook, Google, Twitter, Microsoft. Microsoft accounts also, if somebody has, they can log in. So for Microsoft, we have a separate apps.dev.microsoft.com. For Facebook, it was developers.facebook.com. So you have to follow this procedure. Ultimately, what is important is whatever service provider you are using, basically the authentication provider you are using, there you have to create one application which is going to be used for authenticating the user. But to build a trust relationship between your application and that authentication provider application, the authentication provider gives you app ID and app secret that you will have to configure in your project. Fairly very simple. With least amount of programming we are hardly doing any programming actually. There's no programming effort and everything is coming built in for us. And if you want to really see how that Facebook button is coming and all that, yeah, you can always go to the log out, log in. You can go to this page, you will find in that. All the register providers will be automatically listed over here. So if you have an account, use this. If you don't have an account, and if you have a Facebook account, use this. Both the facilities are available. So that's all about using external authentication provider.